Good morning, folks. This particular question was determined back in the 50s when they did a test with children up to age 5, chimpanzees, and a different kind of monkey, I can't remember. What they did was they took cylinders on a regular reward experiment. They were taught to stand this upright, or a block, very colorful block, upright, and they would get a reward, whatever their favorite treat was. Then they introduced one with a portion cut out, and no longer would it stand on its own. The apes and the chimps kept trying to stand this upright with no luck at all, and got frustrated, and basically quit. But the humans, the human children, would look it over. And they determined this to be the actual function of consciousness, is to ask this eternal question, why? I regard myself as a true skeptic. A true skeptic is able to set aside his or her skepticism and accept evidentiary results no matter where the evidence leads. Now we get into the real question. Why the gold? Just seeing this, I want you to think about your own emotions. What are you thinking right now when you see this stack of gold? Why do you care about gold? What is its real world value? Its use? Why is everything determined by its gold value and not its worth? It's all here. It's your DNA. What I regard as the Sumerian texts are exactly correct and our oldest history, mainly because I've been connecting dots. These ancient peoples actually started in Africa and moved to India and through the Malaysias and China into the upper Russia and Japan. And they spread the DNA with them. But the Sumerian text says very clearly that they came here to harvest the gold. And what they did was they created an individual to mine for them. They took DNA from themselves and they inserted it into the existing hominids here on Earth. And then they programmed us. Apparently cancer is found in junk DNA. Why do we have junk DNA? Well, it's all about programming. Whenever we rise to a certain level, our junk DNA kicks in and programs us. This is why we all have this strange fascination with the value of gold, which is no value at all. And what I think happened is that right here, the Anu na Nibiru, that means the Anu of Nibiru, that were born on Nibiru, the ones who created us, put a kill switch in us. And I believe it's radiation. Specifically to the giants, it was probably iridium. They kept throwing asteroids at them to kill them anytime they were unhappy with them. Now, as a skeptic, I've had to allow myself to look at the biblical information. And what that says is that there was water above the firmament and water below the firmament. What happens in scientific tests is something akin to living in an iron lung, where you get no radiation, and the whole world was probably very, very tropical at the time. But what happens when life or DNA is inserted into this pressurized atmosphere, because we know it was pressurized, anytime there's amber and there are pockets of air found, they can actually test it with millibars to find out what the atmosphere was like in prehistoric Earth, in ancient Earth. The 65 million year old question. This is what actually happens if you have a water canopy I'm going to show you this. This is ancient Russia. Notice this, Grand Tartary. This was all, apparently, what they expect us to believe. Is the Roman Empire. I wanted to point out this wonderful, wonderful woman on the New Earth channel. She has a great series, and the work that I have discovered about the Giants' travel in the solstice pattern goes right along with her Survivor series. This is part 30. The history of Russia was basically rewritten at one time, and also the history of the world. Anything after the 600s had an I in front of it, and you'll find that on her series. I suggest this for anybody interested in this. This is by far the best, the single best source. She has done her work far more than I have. I'm just intuitive, and I have a knack for putting things together or connecting dots, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Apparently, the Giants were banned to one section of Russia, and what happened is, when they decided to change history, they inserted the Romanovs into Muscovy. This is Muscovy. They inserted the Romanovs, and then gave them all the assistance they needed. This was probably something that the Masons, the so-called Illuminati, had done to establish their credentials as a ruler of the world with ancient lines. But the problem is, there was this place, Grand Tartary. It was originally, this is what we're taught as the Roman Empire. There is no Roman Empire. I believe that the Greek Empire was there, but there are no writings available to the public of the Roman Empire. They try to point out megalithic buildings, aqueducts that are still in use today, all over the European section, and Spain, as a Roman, or roads as Roman. But every time you look at it, you end up with megalithic building. This was much larger. This actually came down into the Mediterranean. This is where you get the whole Roman Empire, and these are the guys who were trying to take the Israelis' land at the time, who were fighting with the Israelites. They were fighting on several fronts and eventually withdrew. The people in Italy are not the Romans. At the height of the Roman Empire, it could only hold 10,000 people. Not enough for any kind of an army. This still exists. This is a coat of arms for the Tartary Empire. And because this still exists, you know that the Tartary Empire existed. This is a composite 150 million year old map. We know this because this is a Ural Mountain area that it shows. And this whole area has not suffered a catastrophic change in all that time. But they don't know what the composite material is. They do know it's a map. They don't know how it was made. I have a theory on that. If there was a water canopy, they could probably see outlines of the coastlines, etc., just by looking up into a reflective bowl, if it was a cloudless day, say, and that would explain why the maps are all upside down. This is a place called Vera Island in the Ural Mountains. This is a man, a rather large man. If you put him alongside this, he'd be about this big. That's why I keep saying giants. Again, a Stonehenge. I can't get close to this island on the Google Maps because it is simply too wooded. This is high-tech. This is nanotechnology. This is found in the Ural Mountains, washed down from the Ural Mountains. A very, very desolate area, and not many people are willing to go up in there and look for anything. But we can't replicate this. This is a constructed material. All of it is. And it's constructed nanite, or molecularly. These are artifacts. Just regular gold artifacts. This is what we were doing with gold, and then setting it on altars to give to the gods. History is all about the gold. The future doesn't have to be. This is the Antikythera mechanism. This is how it was found when it was actually taken out of the sea. Each of these cogs represents something like the stones in Stonehenge. And a completed blueprint of Stonehenge would actually be part of this mechanism. This is actually for watching the stars, the planets, etc. And I'm going to try to continue this on another video. I thank you very much for your time. San Bernardino Mountains again. We don't have to hold ourselves to an addiction of gold. It was given to us by our masters. We can let this go. This material doesn't have any value of its own. Thank you very much.